This little white mask logo would appear when you were defending on T-Hunt. In the Siege closed alpha, you were able to pick up weapons off of eliminated ops.
What?
There used to be no team reverse friendly fire back in the day, so everyone could get in on the action, or you could.
Yeah, I remember that. I hate Bank. Like, old Bank was ass. Ooh, excuse me. I almost like choked on my own spit. What the f? Just bring back Terrace Hunt. And I guess it's kind of cool now because the AI are a little bit smarter. You should add like a classic Terrace Hunt. And I'm dog shit at Siege. Yo, what's up, guys? This is Lil Crip here, bringing you guys a new video. This time, we're gonna be reacting to, look at that, over 15 minutes of things you forgot about old Siege. So yeah, well, further ado, let's just hop right into here.
Remember when you could set off Goyo shields in the victory screen? Here are even more things.
Is that loud enough for you all? Yeah, I think so.
Using Article 5.
Yeah, oh shit.
Remember when you could set off Goyo shields in the victory screen? Bartlett University camo. You got this from beating Article 5, which is sadly no longer in the game.
I actually don't remember that.
You can't get it on the R6 marketplace, and I don't think there's any other way to get it. When you had to shoot the speaker on Old Border so you wouldn't constantly hear the guy going,
oh.
It's still in the game, but only during the prep phase. On Old Chalet, one of the bomb sites used to be kitchen and trophy. This was before Solarium was a thing, so there were no stairs in trophy. Just 2 windows and the split doorway, which is still there. Another thing, the old trophy room and bomb site was on the side where the window no longer is. That part of Chalet couldn't be repelled on by attackers, but you still had to watch out because attackers could still hold a crazy angle all the way outside.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Wait a minute, you remember that shit? What the f? Nah. I forgot about that. Yeah, because the window is right there. You could just like hop right through it.
That part of Chalet couldn't be repelled on by attackers. But you still had to watch out because attackers could still hold a crazy angle all the way outside to see in. There was an unreleased Thatcher Elite skin called Number 8 Commando. It's pretty cool, and I'm not sure why it never got released. It even has a fully animated MVP victory screen.
I didn't know that. Damn, that does look nice.
Recruit used to have more secondary gadgets than any other operator. 4 flashbangs, 4 breach charges, and the craziest one of them all, 4 frags.
Wait, what?
They should have brought this back with the Recruit rework. The helicopter that used to fly around Border. There's still a helicopter that flies around on current Border, but it's much higher up and is way quieter.
I remember that.
That's why the guy on the speaker would be saying, "Do not attempt to board the helicopter." There was actually another group of enemies that appeared that weren't the
forgot that's why he actually said that.
They were in 3 situations
just missed with this
of enemies that appeared that weren't the White Mask Gang. They were in 3 situations and used in a couple cinematics, but no clue if they have an official name. The bodies that were all over the place when you played Article 5. Just another subtle detail that was pretty cool and isn't on any other map.
Interesting.
They would also bleed when you shot them, but that got removed. There was a scrapped canister game mode that ended up getting used for the Apocalypse event. There's full-on animations for it, and here are some of the announcer voice lines.
Wait, really?
Advised. Canister location has been compromised. Keep the canister in your possession. Pick up the canister to avoid mission failure.
The Glacier camo was actually planned to be released for Blackbeard and Valkyrie, but ended up getting scrapped. You can still find the placeholder for it in the Dustline version of Siege. However, you can't actually see what it looks like on their weapons. And once again, massive shout out, but ended up getting scrapped. Massive shout out to Varsity Reviews from my Discord for both the Glacier and canister clips. Another glitch spot, of course, using the deployable shield and barricade once again. This one dropped you right on the grates that were hanging off of the ceiling on the 2nd floor on Old Hereford base. This was what the old camera UI looked like in the closed alpha. Everything was in the center, but there was no compass. It also said support mode in the top left. Idris Elba was in a bunch of live-action Siege trailers. This is also where they got the Castle Elite design from. All the trailers are still up on YouTube from around 8 years ago. Back when T-Hunt was in the game and had bombers, you were able to go in with a Twitch drone and disable the bomber's bomb. You can
I didn't know that. You can disable it with the Twitch drone? Oh, that would have been nice to know 1,000 years ago.
First maps to get reworked for multiplayer. You can notice a major difference right away when you go through the front door with the stairs being removed, as well as the library having no stairs, just a ladder on the bookshelves. These are some of the original concept arts for Dokkaebi. It would be cool if they added some of these in as other skins options in alpha packs, although they'd never see the light of day since she's banned all the time. Operators used to talk to themselves and make callouts to no one in old
Bro, why didn't they make skins like that for Dokkaebi? What the f is that shit? What? That's way... Whoa, that looks
on the bookshelves.
Way cooler.
These are some of the original concept arts for Dokkaebi.
What?
It would be cool if they added some
nah, bro, that's
although they never see the light of day since she's banned all the time. Operators used to talk to themselves and make call-outs to no one
more like a badass, bro.
which was later taken out.
Yeah, I remember that.
But this used to give your position away since enemies could hear the voice lines.
Well, yeah.
Not only could you set off Goyo shields, but you could throw smoke canisters and cover the whole screen in smoke. As seen in the Goat Tio's video, when you got revived by Doc's stim pistol, if you were sprinting, you could start moving really fast while you were downed. You would just slide, and it looked really funny from both perspectives. In the closed alpha, Thatcher's EMP didn't have any animation when going off. It just disappeared. You used to be able to get on top of presidential plane. You just had to go outside of the cockpit door and sprint up the side of the plane until you got a vault prompt. It was better for the attackers since you could clear out anyone in the cockpit. You used to be able to get inside the
wait, I actually remember doing that. At least, wait, was that
the side of the plane until you got a vault prompt.
I'm pretty sure that was like in the game. It wasn't like alpha, right?
You just had to go outside of the cockpit door and sprint up the side of the plane until you got a vault prompt.
I swear I remember going through. Maybe I just saw the clip and I just was dreaming. But I remember seeing this though. That's wow. Siege changed so much, bro. Shit. Wow. It's like it's just different. Like even look at it too. Like that just. That was like before it was like
better for the attackers.
Because didn't they rework presidential plane? Because that's not how it looks now. I mean, similar, but
you to knock out the side paneling and wiggle your way in there.
Wait,
another
what?
glitch, of course, using the old deployable shield, but this one was climbing up on the lockers on border. This was a really good spot since you could see the archives door, especially with an ACOG.
This must have been when I wasn't playing Siege.
Clip, not only would you hit the diffuser to disable it, but the diffuser didn't spark when you were disabling it. So like in this clip, you could easily diffuse through the wall. All the windows in the main lobby of Bank were open, making this a perfect spot for Glaz or Callie to sit.
I remember that.
But this also made defending the top floor a nightmare with almost nowhere to sit.
Yeah, no, Bank.
On Old Canal.
Nah, Bank. I don't like Bank now even in Bank, I hate Bank. And I hate Bank, like old Bank was ass, like newer. Ooh, excuse me. I almost like choked on my own spit. What the f? That was weird. What was I saying? Oh yeah, how Bank is ass, and it still is ass. Yeah, okay.
Be able to get up onto
Continuing on
just by vaulting over the railing. This let you see right into kayaks.
What?
You could also drop down into the water, but if you did this, you would be stuck like Chuck. Another glitch on Old Canal was getting inside the van in the garage outside. You were able to shoot out of it while you were in the van, but no one could shoot in. When Siege first launched, you weren't able to change your attachments in between rounds. You could only do this at the main menu.
Well, yeah, no,
but you could at least swap weapons and secondary gadgets during the game. And shout out to Holly the Beast from my Discord for the screenshot. The punch holes in the closed alpha were a lot bigger and a lot less detailed, as well as being more of a square shape. Pulse and Hibana used to date, and is the reason Pulse sold the 1v5 in one of the first tournaments.
Wait, wait, for real? What the? Oh yeah, in the cutscene. Damn.
Sorry, baby.
Oh shit.
They used to put out gameplay trailers showcasing the new operators and their abilities, which I thought were pretty cool, and gave a nice sneak peek at what's to come for the new season.
Shut the f up!
Bartlett University that got changed was the piano room. There was a set of stairs added in to help with the flow of the map. And of course, the upstairs rowing museum was changed too, since that's where the new stairs led to. And of course, shout out to Varsity Reviews for the gameplay. They were going to add in a sound when you would yellow ping on drones or cameras, but it never made it past the test server. This is what it sounded like. This was the original hostage in the Siege E3 trailer. It's kinda crazy how that whole trailer was a lie. The old alpha pack colors.
Yeah.
There used to be 5 rarity types of alpha packs. The 2 that changed are common and uncommon. The common packs don't exist anymore, which used to be a dark gray, and all of those items got moved into the uncommon packs, which used to be a light gray, which are now green.
That was actually pretty recent.
Launch trailer. Thankfully, this is not what released because it takes up 90% of the screen. This little white mask logo that would appear when you were defending on T-Hunt. I guess the defenders were intended to be the enemies. But once again, shout out to Varsity Reviews for the clip. There was a game-breaking glitch with Pulse.
They should just bring back Terrace Hunt. That was fun. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool now because like the AI are a little bit smarter. So like when you practice things, practicing actual setups, you know how you set up sites in defense, and then attackers how you are supposed to attack that certain room. How it's so different now. Now is like back then you're just like running, shoot everyone like it was like Call of Duty. But then like over time, meta developed. But so like, yeah, I mean, I guess now it wouldn't make any sense to go back, but they should add like a classic Terrace Hunt where you can like matchmake with other people, just a round for fun. Maybe like another thing to just kind of like warm up your aim. Like I'm sure some pros would be like, we don't need that, but you know. dog shit at Siege, and I'm butthurt about that 1v1. Again, he owes me a 1v1. Okay, we're getting off topic. What was it? Yeah, I was saying how, but maybe they could do it like a playlist type of thing. That would be cool.
In the closed alpha that let you see where the enemies were at all times with your weapons out. The thermite charge sounded a lot different, more of a heavy sound.
Damn.
The original punch holes on a wooden wall were much bigger in the closed alpha, almost like an Aruni-sized punch hole. Another thing in the closed alpha was Twitch's drone did 15 damage, so you could have taken someone out in about 7 shocks.
15 damage?
There was a guy trapped in one of the shipping containers, and if you hit it with an ash charge, you'd hear this. Or you'd hear the guy scream like this.
What the
A really strange Easter egg, if that's what you want to call it, was meleeing this toy caused it to grow. No idea why they added this one in, but it's kind of funny. Some of the paintings on Bartlett University were of other siege maps. There's Chalet, Border, and Old Consulate. In the old canal basement, there used to be a magazine and a box of tissues in the stall. I wonder what was in that magazine. When Amaru first came
okay,
out,
what the fuck is this shit?
She also has before
Jesus
going up
Christ,
the west side of
that's
the chalet.
wild, bro.
Fenders to here. She also had to pre-break hatches before going up one, as well as being the only attacker who could get into the trophy window on the west side of Old Chalet. On Old Skyscraper, using the old deployable shield, of course. And a friend. You could get under the main stairs.
Oh shit, I think I did this
once. It was
once.
really easy to do.
I think, yeah, I did this one.
But no one could shoot in. You should check out if you want more detail. There are 8 known cut operators from Siege. Shout out to Varsity Reviews for letting me use the YouTube video he made on them, which you should check out if you want more details on them. But their names were Pointman, Assaulter, Breacher, Sentry, which is interesting, that's going to be the new ops name, Protector, Trapper, Patcher, and Flubber. We actually did end up getting Patcher, who is now a zombie, and I'm guessing Flubber was based off of the 1997 movie with Robin Williams, because the description of the op involved a green goo. This was the old reinforcement animation in the closed alpha, and also the hatches were double the size but only on house for some reason. In the E3 build of Siege, you could run outside as a defender without getting detected. It's crazy how they went from no detection at all to what we have currently, which is 1 second. I mentioned in a previous TikTok about the 8 cut operators. Well, it turns out some of those cut operators were from the E3 build of Siege, as you can see in this loadout selection screen. So the cut ops probably are versions of the original ops that got released with Vanilla Siege. There's really not too much known about this next one, but the cut Polish map that was called Distillery. Some developers talked about it and said if they were to ever release this map, it would not be the same one that they had created for the Polish season. Hopefully it gets added in some way in the future.
Yeah, about that. What? They have a map that's just been sitting there? Oh, Ubisoft hurts my head. And, nope, we're not going to have any new maps for a while. They basically have a map ready and set. I'm sure they have a few. I'm sure that it's not the only one. I should have known that. I bet they do. I don't know why they're not releasing them.
The closed alpha. No pick and bans, just thrown right into it. This is what it looked like when you got EMP'd in the Siege closed alpha. It made the heartbeat sensor a useless window, which is kind of funny looking. In the Siege closed alpha, you were able to pick up weapons off of eliminated ops.
What?
You can see the ammo counter increase every time Varsity Reviews picks a new one up.
Damn.
On Old Cafe, you could hide inside the little cocktail bar table. You just had to knock out a little bit of the side paneling and maneuver your way in there.
Oh shit.
Paired with the old lighting, this was another great spot for Prime Cav. The sound of lighting up a corpse sounded pretty gross in the closed alpha. Once again, got to shout out Varsity Reviews for the closed alpha clip. On Old Canal, there was no upper bridge connecting the 2 buildings together. There were, however, 8,000 windows in the control room, great for attackers to sit, and there was only one bridge that connected both buildings, meaning defenders had very limited flanking routes. I know I've covered Valk cams being able to be thrown outside before, but this was just a funny clip of mine I found from a couple years ago. In the Siege beta, you could place a cluster charge on a barricade while someone was breaking it, leaving the cluster charge there. It would still work too, and it was pretty funny look just floating in the air. Back in the day when the last 2 people would trade, instead of giving the round to defenders, you would get a draw, and each team would get a point. This was the only time you'd see a loss that was 3-4 as seen in the GOAT Serenity 17's video. This old Monty victory pose glitch where he was holding an invisible shield, as seen in the GOAT Anthony Pitt's The Hipfire God video. Ubisoft was originally going to censor a lot of things in Siege for China for all players around the world, but ended up not doing this to everyone, and instead just for the China version of Siege. The Sugar Fright map was actually based off of a map called Street that has been in previous Rainbow Six entries.
What the?
Here's some old gameplay of it from Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Yup. I played that game. Damn. Yeah. That's like the original installment of Rainbow Six Vegas.
The trailer was censored, but the UK version wasn't. Here's the NA one.
Trick or treat.
Here's the UK version, which I think is better.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
This is what the Nitro set originally looked like in the E3 build of Siege. I like this design, but I do like what we have now as well. This is some of the original concept art for Vigil. It's interesting to see because they clearly like the design on the right since we ended up getting that for Knock.
Bro.
Like other concept arts, it would be really
That's
cool
even
for
better
them to
than the
add these
one
as
that
alternate
looks
skins.
like the Knock.
The gold camo.
The Knock, then the
It's
Knock.
one of the oldest camos in the game, but it looks really clean. I still use it on my Deagle. But the way you got this was from a code from buying the actual Siege disc, which I still have sitting right next to me.
Damn.
It's currently not on the R6 marketplace, but I'd assume it'll get added at some point. Another very old camo is Peacock. I believe you got this from playing the closed alpha or beta, and I think it's pretty rare. It doesn't really look that good, but isn't on the R6 marketplace, so it's cool to have. There used to be no team reverse friendly fire back in the day, so everyone could get in on the action. Or you could
I remember that.
The old Deagle recoil.
My friends would bully me. It was in there for like a season or two. But I remember that shit happening. I remember getting gang by my friends.
For your man's pots and pans. The old Deagle recoil.
They would do that shit just to piss me off.
Was a close second with how bad it was. After that first shot, you had to wait for that revolver to come back down from the recoil so you could see. The revolver recoil for Monty was much more manageable though, and this was of course when you could hip fire across the map with it. You used to be able to trap people in between a reinforcement and a wall if the person was trying to reinforce the wall at the same time as you. They'd end up getting squished, which was pretty funny. Another under the map glitch, with who would have guessed it? The old deploy. This one was on bank and would drop you into the cracks of time, letting you walk and tellers. I've talked about how bad the servers used to be back in the day before, but another thing that could happen was getting stuck in an infinite loading screen in between rounds, and the only way out was for everyone to dashboard.
I might have. Wait, no, I don't think like this. I joined like a terrace hunt with my friend, and his microwave would sometimes take the entire bandwidth of his internet and he would just disconnect, and that shit would happen all the time. Not quite like this, but and get stuck in the loading screen. I'm sure this has happened too.
The servers can be bad in current Siege, but they are much better than the old servers. Recruit had an entirely different model made just for Outbreak. I don't think we've ever seen this skin return for anything else.
Damn.
Putting up barricades, ripping them down and reinforcing used to be much faster in the Outbreak event. It looks pretty goofy since it's just the normal animation sped up. And also, the reinforcements were yellow instead of red.
I was just gonna say.
The original animation for getting launched actually came from the Outbreak event.
Yeah.
As you can see, they ended up reusing this for Nomad's air jab, who wasn't out at the time of Outbreak. Ash's breaching round in Outbreak would instantly go off. Could you imagine if this made its way into multiplayer?
Oh my gosh.
Ash mains would be flying around the map even more than they already do. There were also a lot of new animations used for Outbreak that I don't think have ever appeared in other events or in multiplayer. You could open and close doors as well as push buttons around the map. And of course, massive shout out to Varsity Reviews for all the Outbreak clips. The Brawlers were basically an early version of Oryx, since they could dash, run through walls. Let's see what else Paul Allen remembers about old Siege.
Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe. Yeah, I definitely want to keep doing more reaction videos. Yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next. Alright, love you guys. Peace out.